Regrettably, I'm about to cause trouble. Written and narrated by Amie McNee. Chapter 34. I returned with an escort to my rooms. Rufus was there. "What happened?" he asked abruptly. I was relieved of my guard. I thought perhaps Rufus might be angry, but he scooped me up and held me to him, my feet dangling off the floor. He kissed my ears and hair, and I cried into his body. He put me down as I really began to wail. "What has happened? Have they taken her to the tower?" He was so worried. Nay. Hildy is to be returned to us." "You did it?" His voice broke. "I got into the palace with your mother." "What?" "Your mother is here." "What?" "I told her to come to us." "What?" "Rufus, listen. All of Aragon's people are in court, bringing the news of her passing. I'm surprised you did not see them. Your mother is here. She will find us soon enough." "My mother?" He spoke loudly. He was clearly having trouble comprehending it. "Do not raise your voice to a lady." Catalina poked her head around the door. "Mama!" Rufus's whole body relaxed when he saw her. They embraced, and Catalina reached up to stroke his head. "Lady Aragon?" he asked, still being cradled by her. "She didn't want to be here no longer." She released her boy and shut the door behind her. "Are you free, Mama?" Rufus asked. Light shone through the windows. I moved gingerly to the spot on the floor where it fell and sat in the checkered patch of sun, held my knees and shut my eyes. Jimmy nuzzled against me, but even his soft purrs did nothing to soothe my soul. "I am free. It said so in her will. She gave me some coin, too." I listened to them talking to one another. He spoke to her so respectfully, so solemnly, but I could tell that Rufus was joyous. "And Maude has got Hildy back. All is well. All is well." I could feel his contentedness in his voice, but the only light I felt was the actual warmth of the sun, and even that wasn't enough to stop the hairs on my skin from standing up. "We need to fetch Zita," I said, eyes still shut. "Where is she?" "With John. You owe him 2, perhaps 3 games of dice." Rufus laughed again, a manic, relieved outburst. "When will we get Hildy back?" "I don't—" A shadow flickered across my closed eyes. I opened them. People were out by the window. There was a firm knock on the door. Rufus opened it. "The witches are to leave court immediately," said the guard. They shoved Hildy into the room. "Pack your things." Hildy ran to me on the floor. She cocooned me in her arms, and I did not hold myself together. I bawled, I cried, and I cried in her arms, and she cooed to me, whispering sweet things to my ear. "You did so well, sweeting." It took me some minutes before I got my breath. "Are you well?" I signed as she took a moment to look at me. "Yes, hungry and tired, but I am well." My lips quivered. "I thought we had lost you. You saved me." I didn't want to explain to her how I'd managed it. "Where is Zita?" "In a boat." She squinted at me. I tried to sign it. She nodded, not understanding, but not asking for clarification. "Rufus." My voice was rough. "He says he will let you go, but he wants you here to celebrate Catherine's death." "As he wishes." "I will stay until then too," said Catalina. "I have packed your things," Rufus said, gesturing to the trunks. "Will you come back to us, Ruf?" I asked. He kissed me, then he lifted me off the floor again, and I held him around his neck. "Verily, I will. But let's not say goodbye now. I will come with you to find Zita. John will want his game of dice." 3, I reminded him, trying to smile. He jingled his pockets and I heard a few coins. "If you want to stay with your mother, you don't have to return to me." "I want to be with you." He tucked my hair behind my ears and put me down. I nodded, choosing to believe him. He took my trunk and we followed Hildy out the door. Jimmy meowed mournfully on the way to the Thames, but none of the rest of us spoke. "John," Rufus called. "About time. You owe me a dozen throws by now. It's been havoc. I had to tie her to the boat." I jumped aboard. Sure enough, he had tied Zita's hands to the side of the boat. "Maude," she gasped, her voice hoarse. I've got her. I felt Hildy board the boat and she appeared behind me. I untied Zita's hands and I left the 2 of them alone. Rufus helped me back on land, and John was already getting his dice table ready at the front of the boat. He was grinning a big, toothless grin. "Go home, Maude. You're safe now. I will return to you soon," he promised.